Unigroup just released a couple of studies on where people are moving from and to. One was an international study which showed that a lot more people are coming to the United States than moving out of the United States to other countries. Why is that?
Right. Well, Unigroup's the parent company of Unigroup Relocation, a major international relocation company. We also have United Van Lines and Mayflower Transit, the largest domestic brand in United. And so we see a lot of information, 260,000 moves a year. And so we looked at our international moves, and what it showed is that 15% more folks are coming to the U.S. from international destinations than are going to, and that's a bit higher than in previous years. The Eurozone challenges probably have slowed the growth in the major European economies, the UK and Germany, and that is reflected in the migration trends with more folks coming this way than going there.
And who are the number 1, 2, 3 countries that we do a lot of back and forth with?
Right. Well, the United Kingdom continues to be in the top 2, either outbound or inbound, as does Germany. Germany's roughly even with the UK, a net outbound country. And then, of course, China, as the second largest trading partner of the U.S., continues to be in the top 4, both inbound and outbound, although a bit more inbound this year than in prior years.
There were some interesting findings in your domestic report. D.C. had been number 1 inbound for several years.
Right.
No longer.
That's right. So Oregon displaced the District of Columbia as the top inbound state or area this year. I think that's a reflection of the fact that the budget sequester and the budget challenges and slowdown of hiring and some layoffs at the federal level has impacted the District of Columbia significantly. And I think Oregon has gained in attractiveness. Housing prices compared to other West Coast destinations like Washington State and California are much more reasonable in Oregon. So I think finally Oregon has kind of popped up to the top of the list as the top inbound destination. Another interesting finding from the domestic study, Les, is that Michigan has returned from has gone from a net outbound state, in fact in the top 5 outbound states for the last 4 or 5 years, to now a balanced state. Michigan's undergoing a bit of a turnaround. The auto industry is coming back. General Motors pays a dividend for the first time. Sales are up. They've dramatically changed their policies as it relates to business receptivity. And so I think those things, probably more quickly than one would have expected, have now made Michigan a net balanced state.
So good news for Michigan. Bad news for New Jersey, New York, some of the other northeastern states.
What we've seen in the Northeast is a kind of the continuing trend of outbound migration. So New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut all get into the top 15 outbound states. I think it reflects cost of living, perhaps. I think it reflects kind of continuing demographic trends as retirees move to different climates, lower cost, better climate. So I think what we see there is kind of a reinforcement of the trends that we've seen for several years.